I am still dancing on the feelings that you gave me. I am still dancing on the feelings that you give me. I've been staring at the sea, 'cause all of the waves, they keep chasing after me. Even though we are out of reach, I can feel the water on my feet. The things that you said to me, they will grow inside the make-believe. I am still dancing on the feelings that you gave me. I am still dancing on the feelings that you give me.
I know you're a monster. Moonlit travels, proving that time can haggle. Midnight battles, losing your mind in the saddle. With nice hands full, knew it by heart as it was told. Sleepless and full, ruled in the dark and the ice cold. Stop, stay a while, stop, stay a while. Stop, stay a while, stop, stay a while. With nice hands full, knew it by heart as it was Streetlight candles, choosing the night as a chapel. Feel like vandals, vandals, Stop, stay a while, stop, stay a while. Stop, stay a while, stop, stay a while. Got me waiting, got me waiting. Ashfall, siren won't disclose where she's been. Castle, tyrant, let it come, let it in. Selfish shadows.
Good afternoon! After a slight mishap, I regret to inform you that Aaron, aka Vera Coach, my partner in crime on the Those Two Nerds, had a slight mishap with a book of voodoo, and we accidentally transferred his soul into this adorable Ted doll. Now, he can't move. He can only speak when I press the button on his hand, but he's in there. So, everybody be kind to Ted today, aka Vera Coach. How the heck is everyone doing today? Ugh, man, it's been a week, right? Actually, Vera Coach is out on assignment. It's called Valentine's Day assignment. He's traveling back from Chicago, so he will not be joining us today. We were going to do a whole via the Discord or some other shenanigans, but it didn't sound very good. There was a lot of road noise, and so today it is that nerd flying solo, me, Nictuss. So, welcome to Those Two Nerds. Minus one nerd, plus one Ted. It's Sunday. We're here. We're doing it all alone. And how are all of you doing today? I hope that all of you are doing well. Oh, Maggie, it's okay. Don't put the saddie face on there. It's not the end of the world. I've got Ted with me. What else do I need, right? Gaming news. Well, he spit a whole bunch of topics at me, most of which I don't remember. So what's going on in gaming news? Ted? Wow. That's insightful. I'm gonna speak for a minute. Um actually Vera Coach is in chat with us now. He's doing swell, he's doing fine, he's doing good. Um in gaming news this week. Pokemon Home. It finally launched, everybody. We're all excited about it. Well, most of us are. Now that we understand that you can't do all of the functions on the mobile app that you can do on the Switch app, and vice versa, as I found out over the last 2 or 3 days of messing with it. Um, Overall, it's a pretty cool experience. I like that you can upload all of the characters from previous games using the Bank app, which is free, by the way, for you 3DS users who have been transferring your collections from X and Y and Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon over the last, I don't know, X amount of years. So, yeah, you can finally bring them to your Switch, sort of. Uh, you can transfer them there, but they can't go back. So if you really want them to stay on your 3DS, then don't put them in Bank, and then therefore don't put them in Home. But if you have not had, if you're finished with the games, you're not playing them anymore, and you want to bring them to the Switch, because eventually we all know they are coming in some way, shape, or form, maybe in the next expansion, maybe in the next game, but at some point we're going to have national decks in some capacity. And these ones that had to write it out in Sword and Shield, they're coming back. We know it. It's just a matter of time. So bring them on over. The global trade system is only actually able to be used from the mobile app, so you have to kind of use them in coincide. I found that out. That's weird. The Switch app basically lets you transfer save data from your Switch to the home and vice versa. So if it's not on the Switch game, then you can't really do anything with it. But it does free up space. It's got a premium service, which I want to say is $3 a month. It's $15 a year. The prices on that may or may not be accurate. I'm not sure. So I went ahead and just got the year service because I don't know how. I'm so infrequent with everything that I do, and sporadic. I don't want to be 4 or 5 months from now going, man, I should have just paid for the year, and But anyway. So what do I think it means for the future of the series? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the next game, after the expansions come out, after the hype and the hatred and all of that stuff has calmed down, it's died down a little bit, that I think you're going to see the next series of games also not have the national decks. I think that they're going to kind of continue this because this with the launch of Pokemon Home, there are 30 or 32 new Pokemon that you can actually get now in Sword and Shield that you could not get before. And one of those is like all the versions of Litten slash Incineroar. And that guy was like a tier 1 staple in pretty much every competitive team. So, yeah, you can actually get him in the game now. You can get Bulbasaur, you can get Ivysaur, you can get Venusaur, Squirtle, so all the Kanto starters. You just got to trade them. You have to have traded them from the app. Hey, thanks for the follow, Super Gamecraft. I think that's coming from Twitch. Thank you very much. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. That's how I feel about it. Normally, I would have asked Vera Coach what his thoughts were on the future of the series, but he's not here. So if he's in chat, I'll give him a few seconds to reply. What do you think, my partner in crime? Do you think that this is an indicator of what the future of the series is going to do, where they don't include all of the Pokemon in the future games to kind of shake up the meta, to kind of force people to branch out and try new things? Or do you think that the next game is going to be like, all right, the fans were pissed, let's give them everything that they want, because video gamers are the biggest crybabies in the universe? And I'll give you a couple minutes to look into that while we go on to other things. So yeah, that's where we're at with the Pokemon Home app. I guess there was a sneak peek trailer, first look kind of glimpse of the new Batman movie, starring that dude from the Twilight movies and Harry Potter and some other stuff that I didn't watch. Um, you know, I I really hope that Batman is sparkly. I want consistency, right? If Batman is going to be played by the guy that was in Twilight and he sparkled in the sunlight, then I want him. Oh, I got some angry faces on that. Well, that's my opinion.
All too
If
easy.
you don't like it, that's tough shit. Um, I want him to sparkle. I want Batman to come out and be standing in front of the bat signal like roar, and then like he glitters like he just got raped by Kesha for 72 hours. So that's what I want. It'd be hard to keep a secret identity though, you know. He'd be like the only sparkly dude in the universe. I'm just kidding, guys. No, I'm not. I want sparkly Batman. I definitely want sparkly Batman. I want that to happen. I am looking forward to the movie. There's something to do with like guns and his logo, and some people might think that the bat signal on his chest being composed of guns or gun parts or something might be the gun that, you know, killed his parents. I have a different theory. Anyone who's seen like the Flashpoint storylines knows that in that alternate timeline, Batman, Bruce Wayne actually gets shot and his parents live. Um, and his dad ends up becoming Batman, but he becomes like a very violent version of Batman. So Thomas Wayne in that alternate universe, he actually uses guns and all kinds of stuff, and that would be cool. They haven't advertised it as it, but that'd be one hell of a surprise if it was like all of a sudden, oh, we're doing some weird, you know, Flashpoint storyline, which that could work. That could be cool. It's something that we've only seen in the cartoons and obviously the comics. So I guess we'll see. I think he's going to do a good job. I like Ben Affleck though, so I'm in the minority here. I think we all can agree though that Henry Cavill much better as Geralt than he ever was as Superman, right? Can we all just agree that one he nails that role? I mean, I don't know how they said, "Hey, Henry Cavill, you should do this," because I was like, man, not Superman. Although that dude is a beast, right? Like they were showing the behind the scenes of him working out and stuff on see, Janet agrees. On the when he was doing Superman and like the boating scenes, and like that dude looks like he works out super hard. Like I look tired just watching him walk around because of all the muscle that he had to carry around. I'm like, whew, man, that was a workout, you know. But what do I know? I like donuts and pizza, so. So yeah, no. I think it'll be good. I think the new Batman, they don't have anywhere to go left in the series but up. I firmly believe that. I think that it would be very difficult to go down because we've reached the bottom lows during the post Tim Burton era. Like the first two Tim Burton Batman movies are considered, you know, love them or hate them. Like I think overall people enjoyed them, and I mean they had great actors in it, and Michael Keaton nailed it. Weird, but nailed it. He's not tall enough to be Batman, but he was a really good Bruce Wayne. And I think that's the hard part is you'll get a guy like Ben Affleck nailed the Bruce Wayne part, right? He has that like I'm rich and kind of arrogant and a little cocky attitude. Like it's just him. Maybe that's not really him. Maybe he's not acting. I don't know the guy. Everything I've read about online say that he's a pretty cool guy to hang out with in real life. So maybe he's not an arrogant douchebag. I don't know, but he kind of nailed that. But when it came to the Batman stuff, he was still Bruce Wayne just with a voice, right? And it's so hard to follow Christian Bale and what they did in the Christopher Nolan movies. So, like, you have Christian Bale, he comes out, he nails the Batman role. He nails the Bruce Wayne role. And then you got to follow that. That's hard. So, after a lot of people feel that Ben Affleck kind of didn't do so well, now you're going to have... I can never remember that guy. The guy from Twilight. He's coming afterwards. And I think he's going to make it his own, and I think it's going to be fine. So, but speaking of stuff in the Batman universe, Birds of Prey opened up last week, not this week. And I guess the ticket sales weren't great. They weren't what they wanted. I'm not sure if people felt that it wasn't going to be interesting or whatever. I don't know. So Warner Brothers, in a weird, unprecedented sort of thing, I've never seen them do this, and if anyone can recite another instance where it's been done, but a couple of days after the movie comes out, they changed the name, and they told all the theaters around to change the name of the movie from Birds of Prey to Harlequin Birds of Prey. I don't know if that was to make it something a little bit more recognizable for people who just kind of looking at the titles, thinking that it's, I don't know, a movie about birds, thinking about it's a movie about, I don't know, raptors and bald eagles and stuff. I don't know. Maybe. And then they were like, oh, this is a Harley Quinn movie. Well, maybe I'll go see that. The critic review said it was decent if you can get past the violence and the language, both of which don't bother me, but I don't know. I don't know if it's interesting enough. It does have a Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I believe is her name, who I really enjoyed in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. She plays the Black Canary, maybe. I don't know enough about it because I'll be really honest. When they said that they were doing this movie and there was no Joker, whether it's Jared Leto's Joker or they bring Jack Nicholson out of retirement and let him be the Joker again, it doesn't really matter. But when they said that they were basically going to be doing a Harley Quinn movie with no Joker at all, not even like a cameo, anything, I completely lost interest. I think that I don't think that they need to be on the same team, but I feel like it would have been much more interesting to have her, I don't know, pissed off at him if she wants to kind of go solo and be a sort of anti-hero or whatever. Show that. I mean, I know they kind of touched on it a little bit in Suicide Squad, but I don't know. It would have just been nice to have that. And I kind of, honestly, I would have liked to have seen more Jared Leto. I don't think that they gave him really much opportunity to do much of anything in the Suicide Squad, but I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully the ticket sales get turned around and, you know, that movie doesn't completely tank, because I know that Warner Brothers can do it, right? We've seen them do and take gambles on things, and they've worked. The problem is when they get too involved in the thing and they want too many creative decisions, executive decisions, and they don't let the directors and the writers and the producers and the actors put enough input on it to just let them make something that's going to be enjoyable. They want to touch it too much and put their own input on it because they think that they understand something better than the fans. And that's really where Marvel has, well, even Disney recognized that. I mean, yes, Disney still has the final say since they bought Marvel, but they've recognized that the people that are doing these movies and doing the research on them and writing them and directing them and the actors that are playing the characters, plus just the producers, the Kevin Feige or whoever happens to be producing the movies, like they have a lot of input because they work with the characters. Like they created them or at least had some process within the last 20 or 30 years of that character where they currently stand in whatever iteration. Now, granted, I know a lot of the work came from Stan Lee on many of the characters that are still around today that you guys have all been watching for the last 10 plus years in the cinematic universe. But he hasn't really had a lot of creative control on it. I mean, he created them. He gives his input every now and then. And since he's passed, obviously, he has no influence whatsoever. I still think that they use him as like a drawing board. Like, you know, they go back and go, well, what? I think that there's probably a board out there somewhere in Marvel Land that says, what would Stan do? And if that board doesn't exist, it should. Because I think that the people that worked with him for all those years have to have a pretty good idea of how he would have handled it. Maybe. I mean, he did it for so many years, and he had a lot of people that were very, very close to him. But and I think that's why Marvel is doing better than DC overall. DC's had a couple of decent performers with Wonder Woman and Aquaman, both of which I didn't think I was going to enjoy nearly as much as I did. But part of that, I think, was the the actors that they got. Jason Momoa as Aquaman, I would have never cast him in that role in 1,000 years, not 1,000,000 years, not 10 million years. But he came in and he kind of put his own little unique spin on it, I suppose, and it worked. He sold it to me, and it was fun. It was an enjoyable movie. We hadn't seen anything like that, not since probably The Little Mermaid. but that was a cartoon and not nearly as exciting. It was pretty good though. I like that cartoon. With Ursula and the Sea Witch, and there's like a boat or something, and she loses her voice. I think there's magic. Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. And then she's got to like make that prince dude fall in love with her, but she can't talk to him, which sounds like a dream to me. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. That actually would be very, very tough. But that to me says that he loved her, right? He loved that little fiery redhead. And the fact that she couldn't talk and she tried to comb her hair with a fork. Yeah, I've seen that movie. Aren't they doing that live action? They got oh, that's right. There was a bunch of controversy around that because they didn't cast a little white girl to be the Little Mermaid. So I guess that's a problem. Well, we promote diversity here on the show, so you don't have to be a little white girl and be a Little Mermaid. You can just be a mermaid. We don't care where you're from. Just be you. You can be a little boy and be a mermaid. I don't care. Be a merman. No one's stopping you. Get you a trident. Swim in the oceans. Anyway. So with Wonder Woman coming out this summer, I have to say that I feel way less excited about that movie than I did the first one. I don't know. It just seems uninteresting. Because DC creates this whole universe and it's built around Superman and Batman and the Justice League, which it tanked. I liked it, but it wasn't amazing. It was definitely worthy of a rental. It was definitely worthy of owning it in your collection if you got it on a good price, or if you're just fans of the character. It's a different spin on the characters. But overall, I liked it. It was enjoyable. However, the rest of the world did not. The rest of the world thought it was pretty bad, and that's why it tanked and Warner Brothers went a different way. So they're taking characters that they created within this universe, which raises a question: if that Wonder Woman and that Aquaman, which are both now getting sequels, were part of that original DC universe, but now Superman's gone, Batman's gone, I think Shazam might be gone. I don't know. I hope not. I want to see them do more stuff with Shazam. That movie was interesting. So are they going to just like pretend that Superman and Batman didn't exist and maybe try to bring them back later? And what about the new Batman movie, right, that we were talking about earlier with the sparkly Twilight dude? Is that going to be connected in any way, or is it going to be kind of its own thing? These are all questions I think that are really interesting, but that's the one thing I do think that DC does better than anyone is when they don't try to make all of their stuff connected. I think it's cool to have a connection and to build a universe and to make it all cohesive, right? But DC is the best at alternate timelines, variant futures, these things that happened in the past and like these what ifs and stuff. They're really good at that. They ever since they introduced the concept of the Speed Force and time travel and Flashpoint and things like that. I mean, they've been doing it even since before that. It makes it interesting because you can have these versions of the characters and stuff that aren't necessarily the canon versions, right? One of my favorite examples of this in the DC universe is the Gotham by Gaslight, which takes place during the time of Jack the Ripper. And there's a Batman in ancient England, or well, it's actually Gotham. And I guess Jack the Ripper is in Gotham, not in, England where he was killing people. But it's fine. Like, it was interesting. So it's one of Batman's cases, and he goes and he finds Jack the Ripper. They turned it into one of those, like, animated movies, but I thought the book was better. And I actually think that you can still buy the combo kit with the book. So if that's out there somewhere, Amazon should give me money, all this crap that I promote and sell for them. I'm serious. I'm always like, you guys should go and buy this. I don't know that you guys actually do go out and buy it, but if you do, good for you. You have good taste and stuff. What do you think, Ted? He's speechless. He agrees. So, what else is sorry, I had to get some water. I'm dying over here. I'm not normally the one talking the whole time. Normally I have help. So let's see what else is going on in in the world. Um, Magic Arena right now. So they have this. I don't know. It's like an event of some kind where you can go and play with the World Championship, placing decks or whatever. And let me just tell you, everybody loves that mono red shit. No lie, because that deck can kill you in about 4 turns. So I guess you get to play a lot of games. I don't know. Me personally, I'm kind of enjoying the enchantment thing right now. Um, but that is just me. Hey, thanks for the like, Drew. I don't think I've ever actually seen you pop on. And if this is your first time, welcome to Those Two Nerds. We're down one nerd today, and we've got Ted. Ted is filling in. Um, so, yeah, I've been doing a lot of magical tricks today. Um, I mean, Vera Coach was supposed to be watching. You've made one comment the whole time. You suck. You can't even like type with your ADD. I know Magzilla's out there. I know she's out there watching. She's cooler than you anyway. So yeah, um, Darksiders. Whew. Let me tell you about Darksiders. So we picked up Darksiders Genesis. And my entire Darksiders experience came from Darksiders War Mastered Edition and about the 5 minutes I've played of what do you call it? The Darksiders 2 with Death. I think it's the Definitive. I can't even say that word. Definitive Edition. Um, and I liked the games. I liked the world. It was cool. But Darksiders Genesis is a like top-down sort of isometric action RPG. It's a little different than the other ones. It is co-op. It's the only one in the series that I believe is co-op. But there's only 2 characters. You have Death and Strife. And Strife is like a ranged character. And War is the same War that you know from the original games. Like he is a beater. He's like a tanking character, and his ranged abilities are terrible. Let's see. Mag said she offered to drive. That's okay. It's cool. I enjoy your company more anyway. So we got through about the first couple of chapters, maybe 2 or 3 chapters in the game, and I won't lie, I still can't figure out how to buy potions. And it's very frustrating. I even went on like a forum board or whatever, and I kind of feel dumb, right? I've played games my whole life, and I feel like this should be something really easy. And the one person on Discord even said, "Well, you got to go to Vulgrim. He's the merchant guy." And I was like, I went to Vulgrim, and he does not sell potions. I don't know if I have to get to a certain point in the game, or if there's like some fine print or a sub menu or something that I'm not seeing. But he did not have any potions. Other than that little minor gripe, because I know that they're in the game. Other people have them. I've seen people playing through playthrough videos and stuff. They have them. And other than not being able to find the potions really easy, the game is a solid, I would say, probably 8 out of 10 for me, personally. I like the co-op aspect of it. That is very cool. The skill tree is very neat because when you're playing solo, you can swap between Strife and War. But when you're playing co-op, the talents that you put into your skill trees actually affect both Strife and War, and the person that you're playing with in co-op, whatever talents they've picked, stack, it looks like. So you have the ability to get like double the talent points in essence. A lot of fun. I highly recommend it. It's not a full $60 retail version game. It's yeah, I think it's $40. We've only played it on the PS4. But from what I've seen and what I've read, I don't think it would run terrible on the Switch if that's your system of choice. I think it'll run just fine. And if you already kind of like games like Diablo, it's similar, but it's not that loot explosion like Diablo. It is more story-based than Diablo. The boss fights are a little harder. They have a lot more hit points. I felt that they had a ton more hit points, and maybe that will change once we get further into the game. But just based on what I played, I would say that yeah, there's probably 20, 30 hours of content there minimum if you're just getting through the game. It took us about at least 2 or 3 hours to get through the first 3 chapters. And there's about 17 chapters in the game, I believe. So, yeah. Let's see. Animal Crossing Countdown. Well, it's coming. I'm excited. You guys are going to see me stream the bejesus out of that game when it finally launches. My life will be over at least until Cyberpunk comes out, or not Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy VII. I don't even think I'm going to touch anything else. It's going to be Animal Crossing, maybe Magic. I might get into some Magic cards occasionally. So yeah, that's kind of what we're doing there. We're waiting on Animal Crossing. I'm excited. I can't wait for the crafting system. I want to live on an island away from the rest of the world, where no one will come and bother me, and it doesn't look like it rains. Although it's weird, it looked like in the trailer it snowed. So I don't think this is like a tropical island. I think it's just an island with normal weather patterns. Snow and rain and ice and sun and fall and all of that, which I'm okay with. But the crafting system is the thing that has me the most interested. I believe that we are looking at, let's see, today's the 16th. Animal Crossing will be out on the 20th of March next month. So if you guys have not pre-ordered, and you will hear us talk about this game a lot, you should probably do that. I don't think that they will sell out. This is not like one of those weird small games that kind of goes under the radar. It's a big deal. You know a game is a big deal when one of the top game companies that produces one of the top selling games references it in one of their tweets. And I'm talking about Doom. So Doom Eternal launches on the same day. Just a little plug for those guys, because I've been playing the Doom games since Doom PC. Like original, OG. Where you couldn't even aim up and down. You just move side to side. And the guys that do Doom Eternal, they're excited to play Animal Crossing. And I believe his little quote was probably one of the best, right? He put it out there. He goes, I love in the gaming industry that you can have games like ours, Doom, and you can have games like Animal Crossing that are completely different. They're not even remotely similar, but that have huge followings, have huge fan bases, and are huge releases. And coming out on the same day, coincidentally enough. That to me is awesome, because they're really extreme. There is nothing violent, bloody, evil in Animal Crossing. And at the same token, there is nothing cute and fluffy and cuddly and adorable in Doom. Like, they are completely different. So, what do you guys think about Doom Eternal? Have you guys looked up anything on Doom Eternal? I'll be honest, I never finished the last Doom. I did get pretty far in it, but I'm just not good at those shooting style games. But I feel like I got my money's worth out of it, and if I never pick it up again, that's fine. Because it's kind of mindless in what you do. You just run, you kill monsters, and that's it. And the new one looks pretty good. Now, I don't think the Switch version is launching on the same day as the other ones. It's coming out a little bit later. And I'm not sure what kind of hoodoo voodoo magic they're going to use to get it on the Switch, because this game looks very intensive. It looks very graphic intensive. But after the swan dive that they did on the last one, and nailed it, by the way, I have played Doom on the Switch. I don't own Doom on the Switch, but I have played Doom on the Switch, and it was smooth. The aiming was very good. The parts that you want to look really good looked good. You could see where they had sacrificed graphic in some of the cinematics, and sometimes the environment itself, but the monsters looked good. The parts that they wanted to be dark and creepy and make you scared to go in, those looked really good. But the same thing is true for Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. Like, that was some kind of hoodoo voodoo magic to get that game on there and to make it look even as good as it does. Now, I did notice that they made some compromises on the cinematics very early in the game, so it's definitely noticeable. You're going to go, wow, that looks not as good as it should look, but it didn't look so bad that it was jarring or that you care, because it's not gameplay. It's just video. But yeah, they did a really good job with it. Speaking of, Wolfenstein 2. I am in possession of many copies, digital copies of Wolfenstein 2, the New Colossus, on Switch, among some other games. I have posted some of them up on eBay and various different places. I'm probably going to keep a few to use as give outs on this show, my show, wherever. So, yeah, got some of those. If you are interested in buying some, and when I say cheap, I mean cheap. I'm not going to mention the prices on the air. If you are interested in buying some digital Switch games, let me know. I only have one copy of Dragon Ball Fighters left. One copy. I had 10. I have one. So, and it may sell as fast as by the end of this show. I don't know. They've actually been selling pretty well, much better than I thought. Why am I selling digital games? Well, honestly, I got a really good deal, and I like to pass those deals on to other people because I am a gamer, and anytime that you can get a good deal on a game, I'm going to try and help other people out. So, this was not an attempt to be rich or make, like a gajillion dollars, because let's face it, that's not going to happen. So yeah, if you're interested in some digital Switch games, you have to have a Switch, you have to be in America, you have to have an American account. Let me know. Currently, I still have left Dragon Ball Fighter. I don't know, Fighter Z. I have one copy. I have a few copies of Wolfenstein 2, the New Colossus. I have a few copies of 1-2 Switch. And if you are interested in that game but didn't want to pay $50 for it, go ahead and toss me a message, because you won't pay $50 for it. You won't pay $40 for it. You won't pay $30 for it. I will give you a really great deal on it. You'll get a cool new digital game, and I'll get it out of my thing and get all of my money back that I paid for it. So, yeah. Some other games. If you're interested in, I don't have very many, about 6 or 7 different games. I think the other one is Hyper Light Drifter, which I know not much about, and Flipping Death. No one wants to buy this game, and I saw it played last night, and it's kind of cool. It has this very like Tim Burton vibe to it. The art style in it is very unique, so look that one up, and I can get you a good deal on that one too. So yeah, I have some digital games, but I don't have as many as I had. It's been a very productive week. I sold quite a few. So yeah, anything else going on in the world of gaming news? So I was on Board Game Geek today, right? And I like to check that site out occasionally, just to see what's going on in board games and stuff. And so I saw a game on there today, and it was listed as like in the top 24 or 25 games. I don't remember the exact number of all games on Board Game Geek. Now, anyone who doesn't know, Board Game Geek is kind of like the Bible, right, for board games. You go to Board Game Geek and to find out if a game is terrible or awful or good. And there's a lot of board game enthusiasts out there that go on there and have accounts, and they'll give you their honest opinions on the game. They'll send you screenshots if you have questions. There's usually a place on there for if you have a question about one of the rules in the game or something maybe the book doesn't cover, and you'll usually get a pretty good response. So I was on there today because I like board games. I went to my local board game store yesterday, and I saw a couple games. I was like, I don't know. So I decided just not to buy anything right now. I was a little bit depressed because the rest of the Dark Souls expansions were out for the board game for that, but I'm waiting on mine because I bought them all at the same time. And Miniature Market, by the way, another great store for board games. If you don't have a local board game store, they will, and they have about everything. So they do pre-orders. They have pretty fair prices. Miniature Market, good store. Cool Stuff Inc., another good store. So there we go. So I'm looking at the board games, right? And there's this board on there in the top 24 called Wingspan. And when I was reading the description of this game, it's got, like, on the box, it's got a bird. It's just a bird. It's flying. He's looking all happy. I'm not even sure what kind of bird it is. Some kind of a pigeon or something. I don't know. But the bird looked happy, I think. I don't know what a happy bird looks like. So this is like in the top 24 games. So I'm reading it, and it sounds like it has elements of magic. And they call it a I forget, but basically it's like a chain game. So you play cards, you use like they have a resource cost, you play them, and then you try to accumulate points by chaining cards into other cards. So I was watching the one guy do like a talk video about it, and I won't lie, it made me interested. I'm like, okay, this many people can't be wrong. The game has to at least be interesting. And it's in the top like 25 games on Board Game Geek. So I'm going to be going to get that at some point. I might go after the show and play it tonight. I don't know, because I think there's a couple stores around that might have it. But what I found interesting is Amazon's out. They're on their 7th printing of the game. It's out. It's out of stock almost every place that you can get it. You might get lucky and snag it at a Barnes & Noble, but my local board game store, out. They actually laughed at me on the phone when I asked for it. They said, we'll put you on the list. She said, no lie. She said, there are 25 people ahead of you, though. I said, okay, well, that's a lot. So Wingspan. I don't know. I'm going to go get that. I'm looking into Arkham Horror as well, because that's like 5 places higher on the Board Game Geek list of games. See, I'm trying to branch out. I play a lot of dungeon crawl board games. I play a lot of RPGs. I play a lot of like battle strategy games. I'm trying to branch out and get some different kinds of games, because sometimes maybe I don't feel like murder and stuff. Maybe I don't feel like killing monsters and looting their bodies. Most of the time that I do, but not always. So by looking at my board game collection, you would think that that's a lie. So yeah. Speaking of board games, we're going to go back to Darksiders Genesis. I'm kicking myself a little bit for not pre-ordering the Nephilim edition, which came with a limited edition painted miniatures set, a board game. You can't get it anywhere but it was limited to 5,000 copies, and I didn't buy it. I should have bought it. Didn't buy it. And now I don't have it. And now after playing Darksiders Genesis, I really want to play it now. I really want to get into that and check it out. So I might drive by GameStop later to see if they have one, although I doubt it. And everyone knows how much I love GameStop, so I'm going to go in there and hate myself if they have it. I'm going to hate myself even more at the amount of money that I'm going to have to spend to buy this product from GameStop, especially when I want them to go down in a blaze of glory. And now I'm going to actually attribute a few $100s to them not sinking their ship. But whatever. Whatever. Ted, how do you feel about GameStop? That good, huh? Well, let's see. Let's press your button. Where's your hand? There it is.
All right, come on, let's sing the thunder song. When you hear the sound of thunder, don't you get too scared. Just grab your thunder buddy and say these magic words. Fuck you, thunder. You can suck my dick.
Whoa!
You can't get me thunder, cause you just got...
Wow. That was not for the kids, folks. That was not for the kids. And on that note, we're done. We're done for today. I am not going the full hour. I have run out of things to talk about. So, recap. Ted is a dirty, dirty birdie. I'm going to go buy a board game about birds. I will let everyone know how that goes this on the next show. I have some digital Switch games for sale. If you are interested in some cheap digital Switch games, send me a private message, send me a whisper, send me something, and we will get you hooked up. Animal Crossing coming out on the 20th. Darksiders Genesis, solid game. DC, I'm looking forward to Sparkly Batman. I don't know about the rest of you guys. Man, we talked about a lot today, and I did this all by myself for almost a solid 40-some minutes. Yeah, beat that. Let's see how it works when he has to fly solo one day. Let's see how interesting that show is, kids. All right. So, until next time, my partner should be here next time. Sorry for it just being that one nerd who wouldn't shut the fuck up this episode. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the follow. Thanks everybody. You guys have not been as active as you normally are, but thanks a lot. We got some new faces in today, and that's something. And I appreciate it. We both do. By the way, we still have merchandise available. You can buy some of that too. If you're interested in shirts, hoodies, cups, hats, book bags. I don't know what all we got. Just, let us know. We'll get you some of that. We'll get you some links. Giveaways. So I'll be giving away some games probably next week if I don't sell the rest of these digital games. We're going to give them away to you for free. Not all of them, maybe just a couple. And that's it. Yeah, I'm out. That's all I got. So thanks for tuning in. Come back next week when it will be those two nerds again and not just one nerd. Have a good rest of your Sunday, folks.
CELEA.